So one of the new big features from the free-to-play update that they've just released is that we have a brand new car hitbox preset, the MERC. This big beauty right here. So I've been trying out the MERC for the past few days and I decided to give my thoughts on it, what I feel it does well and what things I'm struggling with so far. So without further ado, let's get on to all the juicy info. So before we get started, I just want to remind everybody that I stream every Wednesday, Friday and Sunday over on Twitch, so if you have any questions about any of my videos or anything Rocket League related, please feel free to drop by there and hang out. There's a link to that in the description below and I'll be thrilled to have you in there in chat. And if you enjoy this video or any of my other content, please do consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps more than you know, as does the like button too. But let's get back into all the info. After playing with the MERC for quite some time over the past couple of days, I have to say that I am absolutely adoring it. It's something new, it's something refreshing, and it actually feels really good to use as a car. The moment I switched to it, I went on a 5-game win streak, so take from that what you will, but you heard it here first, the MERC is OP. Now currently, at the time of this recording, the MERC is the only battle car using this hitbox, and I did have a theory that they might bring back the old Renegade car from SARP, which is Rocket League's predecessor, as that car's kind of been sitting lonely and neglected in a wreck on Farmstead, and I thought they would give that the MERC hitbox, and interestingly they are actually bringing back that car for the next Rocket Pass, but they're bringing it back with the name Harbinger, which the name has changed for licensing reasons, presumably to do with Jeep's Renegade. However, the car has been confirmed to have the Octane hitbox, which makes me think that they must have something else up their sleeve. But what could that be? So my new theory is that the MERC hitbox is going to tie in with the upcoming llama-rama event, which is in collaboration with Fortnite, and we are going to find ourselves with the Fortnite Battlebus as a playable vehicle in Rocket League. So I'll be really interested to hear your thoughts on that, so please let me know what you think of that in the comments below. Personally, I don't play Fortnite, I am terrible at it and my old man brain can't really get the hang of the building. But despite that, I think that this would be both brilliant and completely and utterly daft, but in a good way, like in the best way. I'm really excited to see what comes from the MERC hitbox anyway, but I digress. Let's get away from all that speculation and into all the useful information. Now, if we are to assume that the MERC has been reverted to its original hitbox, which if you didn't know, all cars used to have their own individual hitboxes, and I have a now slightly outdated video on car hitboxes that I'll link in the description below and put a card in the top right of your screen. But if we are to assume this, then the stats of the MERC will be as follows. And if we compare those to the stats of the Octane, which is probably its closest comparison based on the fact that they shared a hitbox until now, we see that it is quite a substantial amount taller, but also a substantial amount narrower whilst gaining a small amount of length. So what that means is that it will have a few strengths and few weaknesses over other hitboxes, as does any hitbox in the game except perhaps the hybrid hitbox, which you could probably consider to be a jack of all trades. So how exactly does the MERC feel as a car in the game? It feels like it's got some really good turning ability, and the additional height it gives you makes it really good for hitting those balls on the bounce. And if I was any good at bounce dribbling, I would probably find it really useful for that as well. But I'm finding it particularly effective when challenging balls on the wall, and I'm winning a lot of 50s with it as well, so I think that's thanks to its additional height, but whatever it makes up with in height, it does lose out on with width, so there are a few drawbacks too. Personally, I'm struggling a little bit with redirects, but I'm not sure if that's because of the shape of the hitbox or if it's just because I'm not used to it yet. I can't say it's one of the stronger parts of my game anyway, so it's just something that I've noticed and I think I've heard others say the same as well. One other thing that I'm finding really fun about playing with the MERC since the update is that my demos per game stat has at least doubled. I don't know if it's because I feel more confident going into demolitions because the MERC looks mean and beefy as heck, but I definitely feel like I'm getting a whole lot more demos and I have to say I absolutely love it. I haven't quite figured out dribbling and flicking with the MERC yet. The completely flat roof of the MERC makes it a little bit difficult to find a reference point for that sweet spot to get the flick off, but generally I find that if I look at the ball indicator on the ground instead of the roof of the car, I'm finding it to be a lot more effective. So it seems as though it's a bit of a route back to basics for me until I can get used to it. But that's kind of expected when learning a hitbox though. There are always going to be a few things that you're going to have to go back to basics and kind of relearn things that you've already learned. I do feel like I might have to adjust my camera settings a little with the MERC, as because it's so tall, it does become a little bit more difficult to see over it. So I might have to raise the height slightly, as I have found myself missing a few incoming players just due to the sheer size of the vehicle in front of me. I am finding that the hitbox overall does appear to be a pretty easy one to use though, and I would go as far as to say that it could even find its way into appearing in RLCS again. I know that Flakes used it a couple of times and I think someone else has used it once, but yeah, I could definitely see it appearing in RLCS again, as it does definitely have some benefits to it. I'm finding a lot more consistency in my aerials and also my contact with the ball in general. I haven't quite nailed down the power and placement of my hits yet, and sometimes I find that I'm hitting the ball weaker than I'd expect just because I'm not hitting the correct point on the hitbox, but I'm pretty sure that will come to me as well. And for now, I think I'm going to main the MERC for the next couple of weeks just to see how I get on with it, and if I can kind of replicate the feeling that I got from Octane and Skyline and other cars that I'm more familiar with, and see if I can actually replicate that sort of consistency in my game. I really do hope to see some more customization options coming for it, as it has been slightly lacking on that front. I have found a really nice decal for it that I happen to have, and I also happen to have a Cobalt MERC, which I very nearly traded up a couple of days ago, so I'm quite glad for my Twitch chat who convinced me otherwise. So what are your thoughts on the MERC hitbox? Do you think it has a viable place in the competitive scene? Are you excited to see what comes next? Let me know down in the comments below. And as I said earlier, if you want to come out and hang out with me on Twitch, there's a link in the description below. We do viewer games and tourneys every Friday, and it's a whole lot of fun, so I hope to see you there. But that just about does it for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful and informative. But for now, I'll sign off, so until next time, bye!